Hi, my name is Matt Hill, and I'd like to thank PEGTV for recording this video for me. I live in Caledonia County, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate. I'm a registered investment advisor, an RIA, and I've been a certified public accountant, CPA, for roughly 30 years. My full bio is on my website, so I'm going to talk about my positions. Part 1 discusses my top 3 reasons for running for the U.S. Senate. Part 2 highlights my views in brief on various subjects. My top 3 goals are: 1, to halt Mexico and Canada illegal border crossings. A strong border security means a safer nation. The dangers of the migrants' journey into our country cannot be overstated. They are being abused by the cartels who play a significant role in the border crisis. These cartels are making big profits while treating the people like commodities and responsible for the dramatic increase in drugs pouring into our country and killing people. We must quicken and liberalize legal immigration so that people who want to migrate and who are a benefit to this country can enter and establish residency. Legal immigration is a necessity as our current demographics and aging population demand it. My second goal is to bring universal health care to all U.S. citizens. I will not do that by screaming at the insurance and pharmaceutical companies that their prices are too high. My team includes a health pharmacy actuary with over 20 years experience designing actuarial systems for one of the world's largest insurance companies. The actuary has ties to both industries, the pharmacy and the insurance industries. And most Vermont voters would not believe that this alone could save Vermont tens of millions of dollars over my term. Because this is one of Vermont's big expenses, is healthcare. The U.S. has the finest healthcare in the world, but there are those that think it should be free. Well, it costs money to have a world-class healthcare system, operate state-of-the-art facilities, conduct research, create drugs, invent advanced medical equipment, cutting-edge cures, and treatments with breakthroughs, technologies. Rising medical expenses are not only unaffordable to the average family in the country, but they're also a major component of the federal deficit. We need a reformed healthcare system that works for all. I believe that some form of universal healthcare structure would do just that. The program would be funded by corporate and individual payroll taxes, as well as exploring a tax on commodities being mined on federal lands. Preventive care is essential for reducing long-term healthcare costs. Encouraging a healthy lifestyles and preventive measures like colonoscopies and mammograms reduce costs. The capitalist system has delivered significant advancements in pain management, health improvement, and life extension. Consumer drug costs and pharmaceutical profits must strike a balance. While it is essential to make medications affordable, regulations should allow for sufficient profit margins to incentivize continued innovation and development. My proposal includes a healthcare operation for all Americans while preserving the availability of private insurance for those who wish to purchase additional benefits. This dual system approach can ensure that everyone has access to essential healthcare while maintaining the freedom to choose personalized coverage. By embracing market principles, encouraging innovation, and fostering personal responsibility, Congress can reform the healthcare system as we know it. Universal healthcare programs can save taxpayers money by catching diseases early and reducing the need for expensive treatments later. But the main reason that I'm running for U.S. Senate is that my biggest concern is socialism. I don't want to get rid of Social Security or universal health care. I want to increase the universal health care. I am against the takeover of businesses that have succeeded by a government that says, Amazon, NFL, Disney, you've done a great job building this company, but we're going to take it from here. This is Cuba, Venezuela, Iran, and Russia. Bernie Sanders is a fan of those countries plus Hamas, all groups that disgust me. Senator Sanders is the de facto leader of a group of 5 congresspersons known as the Squad. The Squad believes in socialism, high taxation, and government control. Fortunately, 2 of these 5 have been defeated so far. A capitalist economy means production, pricing, distribution are driven by market forces such as supply and demand, with minimal government interference. A profit motive, yes, but the pursuit of profit is a primary incentive believed to drive innovation, efficiency, and economic growth. Those are the 3 reasons that I really want to run for the U.S. Senate. Stay tuned to part 2 to see some of my other issues. Thank you. Thank you to PEGTV of Rutland for recording my 2 candidate videos. And thank you for being part of part 2, a brief summary of several of my views. Social Security and Medicare withholding need to go up to properly fund the system. The U.S. Treasury is projecting that the Social Security system will not be fully funded within a decade. This means that it won't go bankrupt, but means that recipients will only receive about 90% of what they currently enjoy. The U.S. must either raise the tax or lower the benefit to maintain Social Security solvency. Congress has kicked this around for decades, but always put it off. I recommend funding Social Security and Medicare by increasing the withholding to both individuals and employers from the current tax of 7.65 to 8%. FICA is made up of 2 parts, Social Security and Medicare. Currently, individuals stop paying the Social Security tax at roughly $168,000, and corporations stop at the same time. I support eliminating the cap on withdrawals. I also propose a tax on all minerals mined from federal lands. This will diversify the future funding of Social Security so that it is not solely income-based. The long-term benefits of a well-funded Social Security system, such as reduced poverty rates among seniors, far outweighs the cost. By ensuring that Social Security remains secure, we can support future generations and uphold the promise of a reliable safety net for all. On the jobs front, I will attempt to bring federal jobs to Vermont. Vermont needs good-paying jobs. I want Vermont to become self-sufficient and not look forward to the earmark crumbs that Vermonters have come to count on. I will also work to reduce the national debt, modify the tax system, including taxing a never-before-discussed taxation of large nonprofit foundations such as MIT, Harvard, and Yale. Nonprofits are never taxed. If everybody needs to pay their fair share, then this is where the U.S. needs to start. On the military, the United States is the leader of the free world. Sustaining a strong military is our country's best defense against opposing geopolitical threats. The 2023 CBO reports that the U.S. spent $800 billion, or roughly 13% of the federal budget, on the military. I support investments to ensure military readiness. If the U.S. didn't have that kind of spending power, countries such as Taiwan, Ukraine, the Philippines would not exist as they currently do. The U.S. aid to these countries helps safeguard democracy, promote growth, provide peace and security. Most likely, Russia wouldn't have attempted to attack Ukraine. It would have been Alaska. We are begged by countries to maintain stability, and then they demand we leave once we've supplied aid. The U.S. is not the world's police department. My position is that all aid must stop for those countries who oppose our freedoms and ideals, or rot with corruption, or who seek us harm. Russia has not invaded a NATO country. China has not invaded Taiwan. North Korea has not invaded South Korea. The only thing that dictators understand is the threat or the force of it. Our position of strength is necessary not only to protect our friends and allies, but to bolster the global economy, preserve democracy, and serve as a beacon for human rights around the world. I also believe in funding our police departments properly. No defund the police like what happened in Burlington, Vermont. I support cognitive testing for government officials to ensure that they can effectively perform their jobs or duties. Only months ago, Senator Sanders reported that President Biden was fine. I support term limits, roughly 20 years or less for Congress and Senate. My energy position is that I'm a big believer in nuclear, geothermal, and renewable energies. I also understand that we need the security of reliable fossil fuels. On Ukraine, my stance is nuanced. I am cautious about funding foreign conflicts. However, in the case of the Ukraine, we must consider strategic factors. Since the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, the U.S. has maintained positive relations with Ukraine. A strong Ukraine serves as a buffer against Russian aggression and potentially Chinese ambitions. Ukraine is eliminating Russia's armies for pennies on the dollar. Considering these factors, it's in the U.S.'s strategic interest to support Ukraine. By doing so, we bolster global stability and protect our own national security. As far as Gaza, no money for Gaza. Iran funded the tunnels under Gaza, and Hamas's incursion into Israel, it can pay for its reconstruction. Until I have more information, I cannot make a formal recommendation, but here are some facts that I believe to be true. It's horrible what has happened to Gaza in recent history. Many would say that it's completely Israel's fault for Gaza becoming a giant wasteland. I disagree. Gaza has been given hundreds of millions of dollars annually for decades. Have they built infrastructure such as electricity or desalination plant? No. They built tunnels to kill Israelis. On October 7th, 2023, its citizens were stabbed, shot, raped, kidnapped, tortured, decapitated, and set on fire. If a group had done that to U.S. citizens, how would the U.S. respond? My position is that Israel has the right to defend itself and ensure that such attacks never happen again. What would the U.S. do in a similar situation? Consider its response to Osama bin Laden. What would our reaction be if Canada or Mexico launched such attacks? I will vote against any funding to rebuild Gaza. You don't start a war to gain a new country. Furthermore, neighboring countries' refusal to accept Gazans speaks volumes. Thank you very much for watching, and please go to the polls.